Why did I open it with making a weird noise? I'm drawing things, yippee, and I'm not alone! Yay!
Guys.
Oh wait. Actually, wait, friend. I just realized something. Oh, why did I
Yeah.
see a message? Oh, it's something. Um, I just remembered I have like an actual VC in the server. Do you want to do that there so then we can just be like, ooh, we live. We don't have to. We can still be here where we are. Up to you. I just realized that was a thing. We can keep it as is. So
Okay.
this is very normal. Yes. Where did my
I
pen go?
forgot
There
that
it
that
is.
was the screen you started up.
What? What are you talking about?
It's it's great,
It's
guys.
beautiful. What are
Don't
you
worry about
talking
it.
about? What are you talking about? Hi.
Do you want to show them the bottom half of that?
No, because it's really
Do you want to show the
stupid.
rest?
Hold up. I want to see my chat first. Wait. Let me see what people might be saying. Because someone said something and I couldn't read. Or did they not and I'm dumb? I saw a hi and I can't tell the username.
No, yeah. Someone said hi.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get to the username. I'm fighting for my life. This is amazing. Steam manager. Steam stream. That's what it is. Okay.
Nope, not
Hi.
Steam.
Hi. Hi, Callaway. I'm so sorry. This is a great beginning. Um,
It's wonderful.
so the only context I can give for this is I'm like in the middle of drawing something for the other person's call if you want to say hi. I'm good.
Hello.
How are you, Callaway? But yeah.
Hmm.
um, we're drawing something for my friend here for their stuff, personal, whatever. And so I'm like, I need to have an actual reference what the legs would look like. I made the horrible idea to just connect this like not at all close proportionally wise to the head. Hello? Oh, that's good that you're good. How was your
It's
day?
beautiful.
That's beautiful. That's a thing. I just heard that's beautiful. Okay. I should actually
It's
get
absolutely wonderful.
no.
Okay.
We don't need
We
that.
don't
We
have
don't need
questions.
that. Yeah, we don't
We
ask
don't ask questions.
questions. Trust. But yeah,
No questions needed.
this is probably just gonna be drawing and specifically drawing and like figuring out bottom half design for my friend here's character and coloring. I don't know, man.
Colors.
Shapes and
Shapes
colors.
and
How do you feel about shapes and colors, Callaway?
shapes and
I
colors.
caught that too much. I need to calm down.
I like shapes and colors.
We know.
Oh, what is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. That's the worst part of it. I really
Oh,
don't
great.
know.
Okay. Love that. Has no idea.
Too yo, we got a third shapes and colors enjoy. Let's go. This is very much
Yes,
how I
more
feel
shapes
right
and
now.
colors.
Okay, okay. Um, huh.
The
Do
more
you,
shapes and colors, the better.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Do you
Exactly,
do you
man.
have any ideas of what you want for the bottom part of the body?
So you're gonna hate me.
I always do. No, I'm
No.
kidding. No,
Hey!
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, well,
I know.
I guess no legs for you.
Pinterest is still leading me astray. They're
Pinterest
failing
inspira
me.
Pinterest inspiration for ideas. Yay!
Yeah, well, it's failing right now, so.
Didn't you say you gave up looking or something?
I did, but now I'm back to looking.
I guess fair.
I saw a single meme and then I went down a rabbit hole.
God damn it, bro. But yeah, we're drawing a little Persona Minecraft skin kind of guy. Ooh,
No,
we only have this
little
upper part
guy.
done. Well, he's not little guy, is he?
Yeah,
Meant to be like lanky?
no, yeah, isn't he tall?
Yeah, little guy. No, no, not quite, not quite.
No, he was tall. Did we ever decide how tall he was?
No, but was what happened?
Uh,
What happened?
the Lorax ate his knees.
Is it because he took the leaves from the trees?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, ooh, character stuff. I don't know what to say. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, I just a oh. Wait, do you not approve?
just oh.
Kind of stuck here until we get an idea. Like, I know you mentioned cool boots, I think, or something,
Yeah, cool boots. That was the one that we were working on.
but that's like a general thing. What? Hear me out. Fancy heeled boots.
Oh,
Those
fire.
are kind of cool.
Platforms.
And
My
also,
favorite.
ooh, and also, so we can have the pull-in of like the more masculine stuff and some feminine stuff to like have the nice non-binary middle ground that you seem to like.
Exactly. That's because non-binary characters are just fire.
Exactly. I don't know what to say to that. It's true, but I just don't know how to follow that up.
Platform boots in he they.
In he they? Hello?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I have no idea.
Fair. Yeah, we're
I'm
very good at being
I'm
creators.
I'm
Trust.
just I'm just looking at pants, guys. So many pants.
Is it just a ton of pants?
Yes, I literally looked up fancy pants ideas.
Oh, do you fancy pants?
It is just pants.
I don't know why that's just.
And the occasional like vampire-esque top.
Well, who doesn't love that? That's not a connecting line at all.
No. That was not it.
Don't talk about it. It's fine.
It's cooking.
Are we sure?
Yes, it
'Cause it looks
is.
quite burnt.
Leg. Oh. Oh
Leg, leg.
no.
What's for the menu? Leg, leg. What's for the menu? Leg, leg.
The legs. Nom nom.
I don't know why looking at this leg, it just makes me think of that stupid leg, like lamp.
Duh. Why wouldn't it?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Guys, we're so entertaining. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, guys, don't even worry about it.
I'm worrying about it. Should probably take my meds then.
Oh, yeah,
What do you mean? Oh,
maybe.
you know I have them.
I know.
What are you on about? But yeah, say little guy. Oh wait,
Yes.
we can also ask for name ideas if people show up and they have name ideas. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Guys, this thing has no name. Help them out.
That's the reason why I keep calling my friend just friend or some sort of like non-name.
Yeah, I have no name. I got rid of it.
Oh, like legally? You got rid of it
No.
did you get rid of it when you got rid of your gender or
Yeah, it was just like it was part of the deal, you know. All came in the same,
the
like
deal
bundle.
with who?
Yeah, came in the same bundle.
Huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Do I just need to pull up a name generator?
Fantasy world name generator, go to the classics.
Fine, I'll just go find a name generator.
You don't have to.
Nah, I need to.
I just want to give you like monstrously large pockets. I don't know why. I don't.
Okay. Fantasy name generator.
How we feel about
Okay,
the
he's not
pockets?
a he's not a yeti.
How we feel about the pockets?
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Can I leave goblin checked?
Sure. It's
I feel
your
like you could be
guy.
part. I feel like, yeah, like just in, like in vibes. Hmm,
Okay. I don't know what to say to that.
I don't either.
Okay. I'm gonna go to
It
coloring because we don't have any.
cries and it only lets me pick female or male.
Ew.
179 is gonna be our seed.
What?
Okay. Are you ready for the first one?
Never. Hit me.
Yeah, that's probably a good answer. It's
What do you mean?
I don't think I know how to pronounce this. It's like 11 letters.
Oh, fun. Are you just gonna send it to me?
Uh,
What are we
okay, look at
typing?
this one. How do I
Where?
I'm sending it in Discord. How do I pronounce this?
Russell Yanko?
Or this one.
I don't know. You're talking to someone who's had multiple people believe they're dyslexic. I don't know. You know about the dyslexia allegations. I have no
I
clue
know I
how
do.
you spell that. Oh, fuck off.
There. Guys, there are no good ones. None of these were good.
Well, hi Ryan, we're doing a thing. Can you name characters?
Hey, yeah, I need a name for this guy.
I could tell you because you're my brother. This is a threat, Ryan.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. We'll we'll do the name generator again, but this time we're gonna do male.
Those are
Is not a
feminine
name.
names?
Huh? Yeah, that was all gnomes.
I'm so lost, man.
Okay. These ones they're apparently ideal for demon characters.
Well,
Um, this is the first one. What the flip is this?
Jaflame! Why does it end with Jaflame?
No, it Jaflame.
I just realized I've been streaming my OBS to you and not my not my
Yeah,
drawing
it's
program.
great. I can watch my microphone peak.
Oh, well then if you want that. Guys,
It's funny.
I don't think I have an answer. I don't think I have an answer of how to say that. I might need
Because then I can also watch you draw without the stream delay.
some. So, guys, how do we, where'd it go? No, where did this thing go? Hold up, I'm
I
trying to put it.
literally don't know.
I'm
I
trying
have
to put it.
no idea where it went.
Where'd it go? 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 Oh, I forgot to fill out the text
Where did
box.
my name generator go? It just like disappeared.
So, what?
Oh no. You forgot the ME. It's
No.
Jaflame, actually.
Oh, did I not copy and paste the whole thing?
No.
Oh no, I did. It just cut itself off.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Oh boy.
Griffin. No, Griffith. Griffith. Sorry, Griffiths.
How do you pronounce a double S?
We do surface as in German. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know, but it's like I don't need to be German hissing right now, so
I guess that's fair.
shh. Griffith Shaquille Flame. There we go. I'm really scared.
Why?
I'm gonna click next. I'm gonna do
Well, you don't
another
like that
one.
name? You don't like that name? You don't fuck with it?
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. The first one in this new set is Parker Hill.
D&D with the group, with my group, be like, stage crew be like,
No space, just those two words, just shoved together.
stage crew be like,
Yes. Also, here you go. I'm gonna message you this one because this
oh
one is
no, oh no, oh
um
no.
she's
I'm
about
scared.
35 characters long.
You're kidding.
Nope. It's longer. It's longer than the Jaflame one. And then there's another one that's gonna be under that that's even longer.
Oh my god. I
They
love
don't even look like names.
I love how the logo with the S's, the last name just starts with Satan. Really creative demonic names, guys.
Yeah, obviously. Just also the last one that I sent you, it's the last name is just Fireness.
Not Ness, Ness.
Yeah, Fireness. Sorry.
What are these
All
names?
right, I need a random number.
3.
Okay. That's the first one. The first one was you're not ready for this. Okay.
Say it.
The first one was like Jamong Griffith Flame.
Okay.
And then it gave me the 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 first like the guys.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. I can't read it.
Have you also
The
become
last
dyslexic?
for context, the last name is Hawken Flame.
Why do
Um,
all of them have to do with hawks?
I don't know. Hey, this one's Hamilton.
What?
Yeah. Hamilton Zuzu Conflame. Obviously.
That
Come
needs to
on.
be an NPC with a really like obvious name. Please send me that.
Hamilton Zuzu Conflame?
That needs to
You
be
like
like
that
that
one?
needs to no, not for this character, but that needs to be like an NPC in a D&D campaign that you know is gonna scam you.
Hamilton Zuzu Conflame. My favorite. Okay. I'm just gonna keep going until I get a decent one.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Ironically, I think
It's
looking up names on
it's
Pinterest is
not.
a better idea.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
Yeah?
I I don't know.
Yeah?
They're they're really bad. Oh. Name generators, my favorite. Okay, what if I don't do a fantasy one?
Name's gonna be
Just
Michael.
do Michael. We'll do a um
Jimmy.
hold on. Jimmy. I'll do we'll do villain name. Just see what it gives me.
Oh god.
I'm really scared. Super villain.
What's the difference
An
between a villain and a
adjective to
supervillain?
describe an
Presentation!
an adjective to describe your villain.
Froggy.
Frog. I don't think that's an adjective.
I said froggy, but we're doing frog. Put in
Okay,
frog.
we'll do
Frog, final
froggy.
answer. No, frog, final answer. Commit.
Okay, frog, final answer. What animal is your villain most like?
Frog, final
Frog.
answer. He's
Birth year. How old are we gonna make Shadow?
Your birth year is frog. Final answer.
My birth year is 1239.
What? Wait. What numbers do the letters of frog translate into?
I don't know, let's find out. Hold on, y'all.
This might be the best bit ever.
That might take me a second.
Oh,
Oh god. Time to go find the decoding websites.
you must have them saved by now.
I do.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I both hate and I love that I knew.
Ew, that's the key one. I don't want. Actually, no, I will do the one with the key.
Oh, off topic, but kind of not. If any of you guys, if any of the two people here, I don't know those chances, know any good drawing
That's
softwares that are either free or like aren't crazy expensive, please, please, I'm broke.
oh, that's the. Wait, I'm in the wrong one. Hold on, y'all.
How many decoding websites do you have?
Like 4.
I so badly want to know why, and the worst part is I know why.
I know you do. I know you know why.
Don't say it like that. That makes it sounds ooh, make it make
Okay, hold
Minx.
on. Okay. Give me a number 1
Frog.
through 26.
Frog.
No, 1 through 26. I'm I'm making the frog. I
23.
promise. 23. Ah, okay. Wonderful.
We have problems. This is not great.
Yes, we do.
And a certain someone in class with the J name is all of them.
Oh my god.
Ah, okay. Yay! I'm so good at commentary. Yay. How was people's break? How was your guys' break? Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. How was the break?
Okay, so I have like cuz the letters for frog is 6, 18, 15, 7. So
Perfect.
how do I make that a number that's not in the future?
You time traveled. That is your birth date. Put it in.
Or do I want
Frog!
to be from the future?
Frog!
6, 18, 15, 7 then. Okay, I was born in
Did it accept that?
600, 680,
Did it accept it?
618,157.
It accepted
Yes.
it?
Yep.
Frog!
Popularity. Very popular.
You're
No.
gonna be
I want any.
popular.
Gosh darn it, there's no option for Shadow Realm.
Oh,
It's making me pick a nationality and there's no Shadow Realm option.
oh.
How dare.
Wait, yeah, why do the villains
Okay,
have to be actual ethnicities? Why can't we just be like a why aren't we
I
fictional?
I
Huh?
don't know. Okay, give me another random number.
Frog! Oh, you said number.
Any number.
Four!
4. Okay.
Four!
Write me some villain names. I'm really scared.
Frog! Oh, what?
Okay. We don't have any popularity data for 618,000 because
Gosh
we're
dang
not
it.
time travelers.
Gosh darn, are you sure?
Well, that's what it says. Okay. The first one, Dean Landry,
I've heard later.
aka Frog Frog. Nathan,
We're back to just the human names.
Chad Gregory.
I'm writing that. I'm writing that. I'm writing that. I'm
And
writing
then
that.
in parentheses as a nickname, it says Gergo.
That's your evil alter ego. How
I
do you
am
spell
Gergo.
how do you spell the nick Gergo?
Gergo.
Thank you,
Gergo.
thank you. That's on this reference sheet for you now.
That's wonderful. I'm just gonna put it in the chat history just in case.
Gergo.
Oh,
Chad
okay. The next
Gregory.
one. Chad Gregory Gergo, aka Frogman.
What?
Okay. I don't know how to pronounce that one, so we're gonna skip
It's
it.
not Chad or Gregory.
It's not.
Oh.
Huan Reed,
Did you just say
aka
Chihuahua?
Tongman. No. Like I don't Euan. Ewan?
I have really
It's
bad hearing.
Ewan.
Oh my god.
It's spelled like this.
Huh.
How do I pronounce that?
I don't know.
Okay, we're skipping it then. Next one.
Yes.
Adam Morton.
That sounds like the most like suburban, like white, like Mormon guy I think I've ever heard of.
Yes, for real though. Okay, the next one is Kenneth Glover.
Kenneth Glover. What?
Um, yeah,
This is
I'm
why I
really
always.
not sure what's
This is
going on.
this is why I always find names that mean something, or else you end up with was it Kevin Glover? Oh,
Okay,
this is wonderful.
Omar Smith.
The last name reminds me too much of a teacher. I don't like that.
Yeah,
You know who I mean.
yep. This one's gonna remind you of someone too. You ready?
Oh no.
Jonathan Holland.
Oh no, I veto that name. That's not the name. That cannot be the name.
Yeah, no. How about Leroy? There you go.
I c- does
Dominic Bradley.
does this look like a Leroy?
No, Dominic Bradley. I'm just
Brad,
reading what it's giving me. I'm just reading what it's giving me,
Brad
guys.
from Hairspray.
Oh no, my worst
So
nightmare.
with what do you mean at last worst nightmares? What the fuck?
uh,
I played him. What do you mean worst nightmares?
no comment.
You asshole. Roll call.
Roosevelt Graves.
So the president.
Yeah,
President Roosevelt, and he's in a grave, I think. He's dead, right?
I think so.
I'm
Ralph Atkinson.
sorry, I can't get over so like the president, he's dead, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You know who I mean though, like Roosevelt, I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah.
I love that you got what I meant though. That's amazing.
Dexter.
Are you gonna analyze some blood? Gonna go to your little laboratory?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be a little blood analyst that the fandom is really weird over you and your sister for some reason, and it's like very uncomfortable? Hello?
I don't know. I'm struggling with oh, pirate name. Let's go. Okay.
Oh, perfect. This guy looks like a pirate.
Exactly.
How we fucking with the second one though? The Chad Gregory, the Gergo fit.
Beautiful. The Gergo fit is
Is the brown too much, or is it just like a not good shade?
I don't know. It is very brown.
Well, yeah, but so are our leaves.
Okay. The pirate name generator does not work. It's bad. I don't like
Why?
it. Because it's bad.
What did it
It's
give you?
making me put pre-thought names in.
Oh, ugh, that's not fun. Wait,
Exactly.
no, you
Character name.
wait,
Here we go.
go back to pirate name.
Oh, oh boy. Oh no.
Put in
Okay.
a lot of like really cool fancy names, like Ergo, like the Destroyer, like really cool high fancy names with like titles, and then a single Chad Gregory.
Chad Gregory. We'll put in we'll put in let's see. We'll put Hamilton Zuzu.
I don't remember that one. This cloak took me too long. I hate that.
Colors green, green, green.
You have those on. You have those on.
Adjectives
Frog.
froggy.
No, just frog.
Just frog. Okay. Adjective number 2. Uh guys, I don't know. Uh frog.
I love how we got off topic and now I have no idea what to do for shoes or pants.
This one's letting me put on a place though.
That's not shoes nor pants, is it though?
Oh my goodness gracious.
What?
Dread Pirate Hamilton Zuzu Conflame.
What? Where? I just remembered I have food. No.
No.
But it's only been like 30 minutes.
Did we ever decide if he was a prince?
I thought he was.
Okay, we're putting prince. Ah, yes. Okay, character. Okay. Which gender would you like? Okay, filled that out.
None.
What's your character's title? Okay. Flavor.
Frog.
It only gives me human, zombie, vampire, and witch.
Frog.
Birth year. What was his birth year? Like
It's,
680,000 or
pull
something?
it back up. Pull it back up. That implies that wherever he is takes place in the future because of a stupid frog joke.
Guys. No, but like if somebody ever figures it out, then it'll be funny.
They're gonna find this stream and be like, oh my god.
They're gonna be like, oh, frog.
I forget, do frogs have tails? No.
Frogs do not have tails.
Okay.
No. No, they don't have tails.
Well,
Tadpoles have tails.
Don't feel like I'm getting like yelled at by a parent. Oh God.
Frederick.
Fucking Frederick. With the blue Frederick Fazbear. Not blue. That's brown. That's brown. Why did I say blue? I meant brown and I said blue.
Okay. Uh, reload. Give me some new options. New options time. Are you ready? This one will give you some flashbacks too.
Oh God.
Ricky Alexander.
Alexander, come downstairs. Angelica's arriving today. Angelica, Eliza, the Schuyler sisters. Alexander, hi. It's good to see your face. Angelica, tell this man John Adams spends the summer with his family. Angelica, tell my wife John Adams doesn't have a real job anyway. You're not joining us, wait. I'm afraid I cannot join you upstate. Alexander, she came all this way. I came all this way, all this way, take a break. Away with us for the summer, let's go upstate. I don't remember the lyrics.
Okay, lovely. Did you process the first name though?
I did.
Okay. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky.
Ricky, when I catch you.
Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky. Yeah, these are all terrible. This name generator kind of sucks.
Yeah. What, you don't like Ricky Alexander?
Ricky Alexander. He doesn't really look like a Ricky.
What, you don't think he looks like a Ricky?
No, I don't think so.
He could be a
Oh god,
Ricky.
I closed all the other tabs and now it's just the pants. They're back.
It's me,
I com
Pants.
I completely forgot I was supposed to be doing that.
It's me, Pants.
Pants. Pants are lovely.
I'm tired. I low-key kinda want my food, but I gotta do this.
Guys. Oh my god, I found the cow ballet slippers again.
Huh?
The ballet hoof slippers with the on the individual toes.
Why is that what they're called?
Oh,
You don't know?
here you go. I'm gonna send you this.
What is this? What
You'll
is
see.
I'm scared. What is this?
Hold on. It's guys, I think I got a little off track.
I think you did.
This is not pants.
I think you did, and also I think Beba showed that to me already.
Oh no. I think I got a little off track, guys. That is not pants.
God, that is not pants,
uh,
I fear.
no, that is
What? So
how
so
do I
so so
describe that?
so is our best friend named Chad Gregory?
Garrigo.
No, because I like Gergo or like Fairgo or something.
I hate it. I hate it. It's so funny. Oh,
Don't mind what I'm doing.
oh, oh, that's a. Oh, oh boy. Oh no.
What? Wait,
I'm scared.
what are you talking about?
Uh, a little worried, you know.
Why are you worried?
Um, no comment.
Piss eyes.
That is terrifying.
You can't say that's terrifying after I just go piss eyes.
Didn't hear that part.
Oh no. That's just here now, I guess.
That's. I feel like we're both off track. So, but the difference is you started drawing that masterpiece, and I just found Hamilton memes.
Piss eyes.
My favorite.
New design detail, guys.
Those are in the pockets at all time, just in case.
What? Is this a canon detail?
No.
No, but it'd be so much funnier if it is.
He just has little eyeballs on in his pockets all the time.
Piss eyes.
No, because why was my first instinct to do the thing you do where you just go big yawn?
Oh my god.
The big yawns.
Treating each other like cats. Why?
Yes.
Huh. Manuals. I'm the squirrels. I'm just like looking at what has just been created today. That's interesting. Uh, I'm gonna be real. I might. Hmm. You're alive.
I am alive.
I'm tempted. I might end this here because we don't seem to have many ideas, and also I need food,
Yeah.
and I don't think you've eaten either. So we both need food.
No, I have not eaten.
Oh, we need to eat. Okay, this is gonna be a very short stream then. I apologize, but as you can tell, we got so much done.
We made progress in the form of coat and Hamilton meme.
And what are you forgetting? What are you forgetting that's on the canvas?
Oh yeah, those beautiful little eyeballs.
a
Oh,
little
and Gargo.
a little snack for your guy.
Yeah. Oh my God, no. We are not making Shadow from Cannibal.
What? What did you
Although
say? What did you? No, no, no. What, no, no. Go back. What did you say?
we are not making Shadow Frog a cannibal.
Jeez.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, Loki, I might end this early because I'm hungry. I'm pretty sure my friend is hungry. And as you can tell, we've created absolute peak as I said we would. So, I don't know how
We
to
did
end
the art.
this. We did things. Okay, I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye bye.